We have now finished talking about navigation. Yay! So proud of you all. And we know how to get around the screen, and we know how to search, and we know all these things. Next thing we're going to do is attendance. You ready? There are 3 ways to take attendance. 3 different ways. The first way, the easiest way to take attendance is to look in the alert box every morning and go, oh my gosh, it's time to take attendance. I'm going to click where it says, you need to take attendance today. I've got 1 class, so I click on that class, first period class. But you pick whatever class you're in and you click on that class. It'll be a live blue link. So once I click that link, it brings me to my class. Oops, you're looking at the other one. I don't want to see that one. This is what you'll see. You'll see your students. Here they are. You see a comment box. So I'm going to take attendance, and I noticed that Addison, the bus was late. I'm just marking that. The bus was late. Or over here, she was in the guidance counselor office. I just wanted to put that in there. So that student was tardy, that student was tardy, and it was an unexcused tardy. They were good. Well, this one was unexcused. This one was not a tardy because she was like, the bus was late. They said, don't mark them late, so I didn't mark them late. They are present. The default is everybody is present. But like Aiden down here, he was absent, and Taylor was absent. So I've got my absences, I got my tardy, I wrote a couple notes just because I wanted to. And now notice the save button went red. It won't go red unless you made changes. I have to save this to submit my attendance. So I'm going to click save, and now notice it just color-coded everything. My present kids are green, my tardy kid is yellow, my absent kids are red, and you can't really tell, but see this big wide bar? First time I saw that, I'm like, what a waste of space. That's weird that they did that. Why didn't they just have the square? Because this shows the student's entire day. So if the student was present in first period but then checks out second, third, whatever, you can see what their attendance was all day long. And that's a great way to catch those little skippers. The little skippers? So if a teacher forgets to take attendance, and I know nobody in here has ever done that. I have. If you forget to take attendance, you can go back in and put in that attendance on that day only. This is really important. That day only. If you forget and the next day rolls around, you cannot go back in and change that attendance. And your principal just got an alert saying that you didn't take attendance. Let your teachers know that fact. That's really important. So, your principal could ask your front office attendance queen to go in and fix things, but you cannot fix things. You have that day only, and I don't know what the cutoff is.
As soon as the school day ends.
Okay.
And somebody asked about a sub. The subs will keep attendance the same way they do now.
On paper, not on cards.
But only a teacher only marks if they're here, not here, tardy. That's it. You don't decide as a teacher what that attendance was. That's not your call. That's a front office decision. So when those kids bring notes to school saying I was late, I was at the doctor, whatever, the front office is the ones who will go in and mark those excused, approved, whatever.
Your only job is to take attendance. Are they here, tardy, absent? So let's say I need to change this. Instead, that was not actually a tardy. I thought it was somebody, but it was somebody else. I can go back in and I change it. And notice when I change that button, the save went red again. So if everybody actually was here and I was completely wrong in my work, I can hit save. Now it just changed everything to green. And do you see this button up here? Click if you're not finished. When you click on that, it says this teacher has not submitted attendance. Okay? It says all green, this teacher has not submitted attendance. So it assumes everybody is here. I don't have to click anything, but if I do need to mark somebody was tardy and somebody was absent, now it's marked, I need to click save. If I say click here if you're not finished, I want you to look at that focus site again. See the landing page? That thing that told me that I needed to take attendance is now gone because I took attendance and I saved. If I click, I'm not really finished, which I'm going to do just now. Attendance. This is the second way to take attendance. I click the attendance button, take attendance. I'm back in here, and I've marked it, and I want to say I'm not finished. Now when I go back to the portal page, notice that the little button is back. The alert is back. So you just saw two ways to take attendance. So the third way is to look down here at the attendance seating charts or attendance take attendance. That is a recommended page, and you be right on there and you take your attendance. And I'm going to save it. What was the other way to take it? Go to the attendance tab and take attendance. So now I'm in here and I got to change that. So I might need to select the right class. And what is the last way to take attendance? The one that I said is easiest and most people will use it? By going to the Focus portal, and clicking that link in the alert box. Those are the three ways to take attendance. Okay, so there is something that can get you off into the weeds really quickly. I don't want to go down this rabbit trail and never come back. So I'm going to touch on it, and then I want you to know this is one of those topics that we're going to give you more later on. Your teachers are going to want to dive in and eat this with a spoon. And that is, you can take attendance instead of in a list form using a seating chart. So right here says seating chart. If I prefer to take attendance with a seating chart, I set this chart up. I want you to see that. I put desks in my room, I put students in my desks, and I can take attendance using the assign button. I think that's the worst label in the world. When I see the word assign, I don't think take attendance. Do you? So you probably want to jot that down, that assign actually means take attendance. So if I want to take attendance and I click assign, this is what comes up, present, tardy, unexcused. I can click the tardy button now, come in here and say, Taylor was tardy, and I forgot to mark that earlier. Did you notice the red save button came up when I did it? So I save it, and so now when I go back to the list view, Taylor, where's my Taylor? There he is now marked tardy. So I just went to seating chart, and I made this yesterday, and I clicked assign and assigned the attendance using this right over here. As far as setting up all of this, it's not that hard to do, but if you start down this roll, you will run out of time on gradebook and assignments. I'm going to show you, and the reason I love this is notice the little picture. When pictures get uploaded, you will be able to have a picture of where your kids are supposed to sit in the classroom. And do you see the print button? Anyone see the print button? At the top, I know it's up there, right next to the word chart. You can click that and print that picture for your sub. And they could mark stuff on there and turn it into the front office. Or you could just put it on the wall so the kids don't keep switching spots.
For the sub, you mean printed?
I'm just saying, yeah, if that's acceptable to your admin for you to use this chart, your sub could take attendance on this and then turn it in. Okay, so what if I need to move somebody around? I don't like this spot for Gabriel. I can't move him. I'm clicking, I'm dragging, nothing happens. So I'm going to go to layout and students. And let's see now, can I grab and drag? I just moved Gabriel. Did you see me do it? I changed it by going to layout instead of assign. Assign means take attendance. Layout means move stuff around. And now the red save button came up again because I moved them. So I click save. I don't know if you noticed, but Gabriel, when I click on him, look over here on the right. Dude's talkative. I marked him talkative because he likes to talk in my class. He's not talking in your class, but he's talking in my class. So when I do that, it's going to put him in a place where he hopefully is not next to too many students, and I can, make sure he has someone to work with, but he's not in the middle of a group that will chat with him. If I have several students that are talkative, Let's see if I have several students that are talkative. I'll have to create a class to do this. So you can see how this would be a rabbit hole you could get into and not get out of for quite a while. You might not want to talk about this at the beginning of school. It just kind of depends on how much time you have with your people. I'm going to make a new chart. Unsaved changes. Oh, I'll save them. Okay. I am creating a new chart. I'm going to name my new chart. I'm going to call it quarter 3. You can name it whatever you want. You can do a grid, a freeform, or copy the previous layout. Most of us do not change our chairs around that often, right? So you can do that. You do have to choose where the front of the class is. So if I want the front of the class pointing up, I choose this button. If I want it pointing like you all, I choose this button. I can tell them how many rows I want. I want 4 rows. I want 5 columns. I can link it to additional periods. So if I had 5 classes and I want to build the same thing one time and be done, I just click the link box and then I ask it to create. Now it's here. I don't really like it. So maybe I want to move it around. So I'm trying to click and drag and nothing is happening. So I know I'm in layout, which is how you do stuff. So I do need to go over here to the furniture button. When I click the furniture button, yes, I can add all kinds of funky things. Love it. Or I can go and I can, look what I'm doing. Select what I need to, grab it, and drag it. So you can arrange it the way you want. Once you get the furniture the way you want, click the Student tab. Here are my students. Carolyn needs to be in the front of the class. Oh, I did that wrong. She doesn't need to be in the front of the class. That was the wrong student. I can click and unselect it. I can come down and say, here's Joshua. He's talkative and he needs to be in the front of the class. So I can go ahead and mark what I need to mark, and then I come right up here and I have a choice, quick seat these people. When I click it, it seats them for me based on those buttons that I clicked. Were they talkative? Do they need to be in the front of the class? Now I hate this because I got all those empty chairs and I know these guys are going to be trouble. So I'm going to drag one over here, drag this one here, drag that one next to him, and I'm going to go ahead and give this one a try. Oh, there's Gabriel by himself. And I'm going to do what? Save. There's more that you can do with this. And again, that's a subject really, like that would be a great September subject. Or, you know those teachers who come in July and they want time to do stuff extra on August the 8th? That would be an amazing task for them to do in the afternoon of the training, that people could set up their seating charts. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here. How do I get out of here? I've saved it, so it's not going away. I could do the home button, right? And what were we doing in here? We were taking attendance. So one other thing, look at the attendance tab and notice there are a bunch of things up here. These are the other ways to get to taking the attendance. If you want to go directly to the seating chart, you click the tab and click Seating Chart. Attendance chart, what does that look like? Here it is. The attendance chart is kind of like a heat map. Y'all are familiar with that term? It shows all the kids in the class, all their absences, what's their daily percentage of attendance. And here are the dates. Notice it started from June the 1st. Every time you go into this chart, it restarts from the beginning of the month that you're in. That is kind of cool. And you see this line at the bottom? I can grab it and drag it, except I hate doing that. I like to use 2 fingers on my trackpad. So here is 27th, 29th. I can see who was there. Why are these not listed? How come it doesn't say anything here?
That weekend?
This is the 29th.
That's not your class.
Question mark.
That's not your class.
Not, a student is assumed present.
They didn't take attendance?
There's a line. Course period does not take attendance. So that actual period doesn't take attendance. And for this student or this class, that was PE. Notice that, remember my students are all different grade levels? So some of the classes that they're in take attendance and some of them don't. But for yours, you will see a lot more. You'll see everything listed on here like it should be. So that is the attendance chart. See, it says it up at the top, attendance chart. There is the button in the attendance chart. Do you see it? Mark all present. I'm going to try it, just see if it will do something for me. Mark all present. Did anything happen? Right there on today's date only, because why? It won't go backwards and it won't go forwards. It only deals with today. Now that I marked them present, did you notice there, I don't even see a save button. It saved it. So you might need to just double check and make sure you did that. Now that I've done it, that alert is going to be gone in my alert box. What about an absence summary? I need some kind of a summary. Do you notice that I'm still in Carolyn's information over here on the right? I'm still looking at Carolyn's information. If the name is up here, you're looking at an individual student. I can see the key up here at the top telling me what all these things mean. And then I can see the totals. Should have been in here for 204 days, but attended 185. I see there is an unexcused absence on June the 8th. And that was it. And this one comes to school a lot. Other marks, all of that. And yes, I can print this. Down here at the bottom it says print. Would you look at what's right next to print? Back to student list. If you need to do this on another student, click that blue link. I'm back to my list. Now I want to look at Joshua. I click on Joshua's name, and I'm looking at a heat map for Joshua. Back to student list. I could look at Wyatt. I'm not going to see anything on Wyatt. Don't know why, but I don't see anything on Wyatt. And that is the attendance chart. Printing an absence summary. I can choose a student directly. So I'm going back to Carolyn, CA. Oops, maybe a space in the middle. And I would like to include the summary and totals and continue, search all my sections. And there's Carolyn. Here is her picture. What if I needed a couple of kids? A lot of times you need, more than one kid. So I searched CA. If I had 3 kids up here that were CA, I could choose which one I wanted. And I've selected Carolyn, and now I can preview the top right. This is what hers looks like. And yep, that looks good. So now I want to print it. I click the print button, and it looks like this. And the last on attendance, perfect and excessive attendance. I guess that's not last, second to last. If I need to see how many days they were absent or tardy, look up at the top. It says threshold. You'll see 3 tabs above that. Perfect attendance. I'm looking for the perfect attendance list. I'm looking for the excessive absences list or the skip report. Well, right now, I've got perfect attendance tab highlighted. That's where I am. And I want people with 0 daily absences, I can't speak, and a time frame of the whole year. I could ignore excused absences. I'll say yes, and the red go button. You see it went red when I made a change. I want to see it. I'll click go. Who had perfect attendance and I ignored excused absences. These are all my people with perfect attendance. Wow, I have a good class. Now I want to go to excessive absences. If I had a kid who maybe had 10 absences, I can set the threshold, or I could set it at 5. Who's got 5 absences in here? I need to have a little talk with them about getting on that bus and getting here. Time frame, and then I can click go. I don't have any in my group that had 5, so I got no names. Skip report, much more important in the secondary schools. You can put a rule in how many days were skipped, greater than this, run the filter. I don't have any that works with, so you'll see nothing down here. And that was an attendance report called Perfect Excessive Attendance, and it has 3 choices: perfect, excessive, and skip. If that's important to you, jot that down. If you think your teachers will need it, you might want to look at that one. You might favorite it even. And then the last one, this one I would favorite for sure, which is attendance verification sub-rosters. Want to have a sub-roster that doesn't look like the layout of the classroom with the pictures on it? You get a sub-roster. And I didn't change the date at the top, so it's showing me attendance for like the whole time here. See that? So I'm going to go and make some changes. I'm going to be leaving. So I'm going to be out the 30th, and I'm only going to be out the 30th. So I just want that date to show. I want to see homeroom. I want to see sub-rosters for all my classes. I would leave them all checked. Or maybe I only have one class. I want to see homeroom and first grade. Well, I can tell you I don't have a homeroom, so I only have first grade. And now that I have it, do I want page breaks between each section? Yeah, I want to print it out on separate pages. I want my sub to sign because I want to know who took attendance. And I want it to be a sub roster. Notice this button, do not display student IDs. I understand we're trying to get rid of student IDs as an option because subs don't need to know that. That's personally identifiable information, and it is not information subs need. So I'm going to click that, do not display student IDs, and now I'm ready for it to go ahead and give me what I need. I will preview, and there it is. One day, absent, present, or tardy. They can put a little check mark in there, and when I scroll to the bottom, oh, it won't let me scroll. Let me go ahead and print it. Here is the page, and there is the teacher's signature. The teacher's signature part only shows up when you hit print. Can partner teachers access seating charts? Not in your attendance. You can link sections together, so if you take attendance in 3 classes, you can make that seating chart, and you can take attendance, but your partner teacher will not have access to your seating attendance or your seating charts. This one says, if you have a homeroom attendance, can you also take attendance in the other classes you teach? If you see it in attendance as one of the classes, you can take attendance. What if, while taking attendance, a primary teacher, marks in a class period other than homeroom? You have that day to go back and make changes. If you've made a mistake, then you would want to go talk to the attendance queen and let her know that you made a mistake. Because you are verifying the accuracy of what is in your attendance area. Now you know there's nobody else messing with it, so you need to be the one talking to that person. If you have a group that travels, so they are on a team and they're going to be absent and it's an excused school absence, there is a feature in Focus that is going to take that into account. The coach submits those names and says these kids will be absent for these periods on this day. They will already be done for you. You will not have to change anything for them. You'll have, it will say, is it SL, school leave? We don't know. It will say something. How do you like that? It will say something. So this says, do teachers in elementary with switch classes need to take attendance with the second class? Answer is, if you have a link, take attendance. If you don't have a link, don't take attendance. Turn in attendance. How do you turn it in? Click Save. That's what turns in attendance. So let's say you're that person and you did not take attendance that day and your principal got the alert. Are you in trouble? Yeah. Just depends on your principal. They might just call you up and go, hey, could you just really quick take attendance? You know, I don't know what they're going to do. But somebody's probably going to call you if you didn't take attendance and say who was there. So somebody will be alerted, and hopefully they will get in the habit of, by this time, they'll go call people and say, let me know what happened in your room, and you'll get a chance to do that. Oh, parent calls. They will be linked. So if a student is absent, it will be linked, and the parents will get the call. What time of day? I have no idea. So this one says, what if I take attendance for a different homeroom? If you don't have the link, you're not taking attendance for a different room. So this is the district website. And when I click in here, I'm going to type Focus. This is the focus page of the district website with information. You've probably all been there. And if you look at that giant calendar, Focus Summer 22 Teacher Training, check availability, it takes you to this page. And this page shows you my Carver Hill trainings, Central training, and the ones that have been scheduled already by the schools in the district. If it's highlighted, there isn't a training yet scheduled at that school. When the gradebook managers from that school contact me and say, this is when we're meeting, and this is the time of that meeting, then I will add it to this and it will be instantly available. Yeah, the PD person writes the workshop. The gradebook person has to decide when it's going to happen, and you'll do that by talking to each other and talking to your admin. Do teachers need to fill out a survey each time they go to training? Yes. We want to know that they know what the goals were and whether or not they got that information. And this survey is really short. You'll get to try it and you'll see what it's like. Do teachers get PD service hours for both trainings in July and August? If they do one in July and they do 2 in August, can they get points for both?
Yes.